For those of you that don't know how my journey started, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer back in October 2017. I'd been interrailing Europe with my friend Stephen when I noticed things just weren't as they should be down below. We had jumped off an 85-foot bridge in Bosnia, and when I hit the water, my legs just buckled from underneath me and I split my shorts right around. And I thought maybe I'd hurt myself, but as the trip went on and I wasn't really recovering and things still weren't right down there, I thought there's definitely something wrong. I come home from my travels on a Monday and I went to my doctor's on the Tuesday. Within a week, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. This resulted in me going to Galway University Hospital for removal of the tumour, and then I was put on surveillance. About a year and a half later, in October 2019, I had secondaries, which resulted in me going for 63 days worth of chemotherapy. Here's some of the questions that you've asked, and here's some of the answers and the lessons that I can try and give back during that time. So the first question that I want to address is the role that fitness played for me throughout chemotherapy. I'm not surprised that I got this question considering my skills in personal training. Before the second diagnosis, I just happened to be in very good shape. I was quite lucky, and just like anybody else, sometimes I'm in good shape, sometimes I'm not in as good a shape as I should be, but I just was lucky at the time. I had been living in Vienna and I'd been cycling to and from work. I was working 2 jobs, I was on my feet all day, and I was training as well. So I think the Saturday before I was due to start chemotherapy, I was snatch grip deadlifting 150 kilos for reps, which is not an easy lift. And in the first week in hospital, I needed to get an ECG because my heart rate was so low. And they thought it was happening because of the drugs, but it was actually happening because I was so fit. So that little boost in knowing that I was in good shape helped me tremendously in terms of mentally knowing that I was in good shape and physically knowing that I was able to take the drugs that they were going to give me that week and all throughout my cycles. When I finished the cycle, it took me about 3 to 5 days to recover, and I think because I happened to be so fit, I was able to recover quite well, which meant I was in good footing going into the second and third cycles. The second question that I got asked was, have you got any tips on resilience and how did you manage to do it all throughout? And I think that's definitely not one that I can answer for everybody, because I think resilience is very much dependent on the person and how you deal with things and how you approach problems and how you go through your day-to-day life, your habits, everything, all that builds up your resilience. Do you read? Do you not read? Do you listen to podcasts? Things like that there I think will help you build resilience. One of the things though that kind of stands by me is I'm very much, if I have a problem, I'll try and name the problem. So I try and come up with what actually the problem is, and then I'll go to people with it. So I try not to bury my head in the sand and pretend that it's not there. I'll very much go to a friend or go to someone who I know might be able to help me solve the problem. And that also was one of the reasons why I was very lucky on both diagnoses, because I didn't wait to see would this problem go away. I just went straight to the doctors and got it checked out. And there's resilience in that. And then when I was in treatment, there's also, I think with resilience, it's something like you need to know when to fight and you need to know when to lie down, or the saying goes like, pick your battles. So my cycle started on a Monday and it went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I was out of the hospital on a Saturday if my bloods were good. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I could fight or I could stay up, I could get up, I could walk around, I could eat, I could socialize, I could watch stuff on my laptop, I could read. But on Wednesday, generally there was a shift and I would start going downhill pretty rapidly overnight. And Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday they were the most grueling days, because at that stage I was just so pumped with drugs and fluids and everything that I just went downhill. But I kind of surrendered to it happily. I didn't try and stay up, and that's, to me, that's also how I built my resilience. Know when to fight, stand up, and then also know when to lie down and just take it on the chin and get through it. And the quicker that you can do that, when the cycle ended, the quicker I could get back up on my feet again. before I started into the second and third cycles. So somebody asked me, how do I deal with flashbacks? And flashbacks isn't something that I actually get too much, but I do get one flashback, and it's actually kind of a nice one, I would say. And when you're in getting treatment, if you've ever seen anyone getting treatment, you're hooked up to an IV infusion pump. And I was hooked up to that pump from Sunday night right through till Saturday afternoon when I got out. And that's to keep you hydrated, and it also puts chemo in. That pump makes an absolutely terrible noise that never stops. So you're listening to this pump going all the time, all week. And it's probably like in somewhere here in your arm. And when I was lying in bed at night, I'd be very careful when I was turning in the bed, because if you kink the line, the pump stops, it sends off an alarm. You've got to get a nurse in to sort out the machine and sort out the kink, and it's a whole nightmare. So the flashback that I have sometimes now is if I wake up at night in bed and I'm listening and I just hear silence, I don't hear a pump, I don't have to worry about my arm, I can just stretch out, roll around and go back to sleep. And it's a great flashback because I'm not there anymore, and I hope I never have to hear that machine again, and I just go back to dreamland. The final question that I'm going to answer is just about the type of people that you need, and it sort of intertwines with the selfish thing that I talked about. But I think you definitely need to have good people, and I'm very fortunate that I have very good friends and supportive family and really good community between Creasa and Dunfanny and beyond that.
Oh, that's a weird sensation.
You gotta have the sort of type of friend that if you say no to them, that they're not going to be upset with you. And I had to say no to friends a lot, and they understood that. And so I knew that I had good people around me. And then when I did need them, they were also there. So if you can have them type of people in your just everyday life, not even if you're sick or anything, then you know you've got good friends. I remember reading in a book somewhere, if you have a friend that you wouldn't recommend to your family member or your brother or your sister or whoever it was, that you shouldn't be friends with them yourself. And I'm very fortunate that I have those type of people in my life that are all friends with my family. So I knew I had good people from the start. Finally, on people and the people that you need, I just want to thank everyone who ever commented or showed support to me in any way. Anyone who asked my family how I was doing, anyone who sent cards, everything. Just the people were amazing, and especially people in Creasa and Dunfanny and beyond that as well. I really appreciate that more than you'll ever know. And it's just a great thing from being from rural Ireland. It's one of those positives of being from a small town, is that everyone kind of looks out for everyone, and I'm really grateful for that. My final message is, men, woman, if something's not right with you, don't hang around. Go and get it seen to, get it checked out, no matter how small it is, because it's not worth it otherwise. Thank you for watching.